that what we are doing is not risky. They are even afraid to come close to me. They're scared. They say, oh, no. We don't want you and these leprosy people, please.
Franca maintained that discriminating against the people with leprosy in itself is a deadly disease.
Already they are in pain. Already they are in sorrow. We should not add to that sorrow by discriminating against them. Rather, we should, come together as, people of God, one nation, one love, one family.
Dr. Yohan Akase is the head of infectious diseases at the Lagos University Teaching Hospital, Luth. He confirmed that leprosy is not contagious.
With leprosy, the truth of the matter is that over 90% of people, in fact, that's a conservative estimate to be honest, but over 90% of people who get exposed to leprosy are not going to have leprosy. Okay? So yes, it's not such a contagious infectious disease. A certain, for lack of a better word, genetic predispositions to getting, not everybody is going to get leprosy, even if they get exposed to that. Picking somebody who has already had a deformity at that time to keep him isolated, apart from the fact that it's not interrupting the chain of transmission, it has, like you said, it entrenches the concept of stigma, denies them of being productive, being rehabilitated and getting on with their lives, living a normal.
Not a leprosy, because I don't even know that it's a leprosy before. I was just told that I have some patches in my body, which I was just think that it's just be a ringworm. They are calling it a las egedomi. And I went to some people that are selling the herbs, that okay, I need the herbs for this thing, and they give it to me, and I'm using it. After using it, I don't even see any changes. That is why my mom just took me to one herbalist, which we are calling Babalawo, and the man just said that this one is leprosy.
The father of 3 recalled how he battled with discrimination.
During that time, I have some challenges with some maybe neighbors, even in where I'm living with my mom. One of the person that, the owner of the house, because we rented that house by then, we just said that, this one, we have to take it outside because his father has house. Definitely you should go to his father's house. Don't let me lie to you. My faith is not solid by then. Because I was just thinking, asking God, why me?
The survivor is the chairman of the Association of People Affected with Leprosy and the PRO of the national body. He is particular about ensuring that nobody with leprosy ends up as a beggar on the streets.
Majority would be quite
elegance beside their primary functional designs. They contribute to the beautification and aesthetics of a place. The world production of furniture is estimated at over $350 billion, out of which the Nigeria's market share is 50 billion naira. The furniture industry has improved in Nigeria from just the roadside carpentry to the creative arts of combining wood, metal, cushion to give glamour and beauty. The market is well coordinated with a chairman and organized rules.
Wà láyé ọjà wa yìí ó máa ń lọ bí 70 bí 70 ọdún. Tí mo bá wò dáadáa ọ̀nà karùn-ún níbi tá a wà yìí, ibi tí ilẹ̀ tàbí ẹbí tó fún wa ńlẹ̀ ìdí tó gbé wa débì ni. So ìjọba Lagos State ló fún wa níbí láyé LSDPC. Èmi lálága karùn-ún. Àwọn alága tán ti lọ. Ẹ̀yẹn la ní John Oye. Bàbá dàgbà wá sọ́jà mọ́. Ó di mẹ́ta bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn. Gbà tí bàbá dàgbà tán wá sọ́jà mọ́ ni Suberu Àkànó. Nànà wà tún bọ́ síbẹ̀. Àwọn kú ní April 2016. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ló ṣe wá kan èmi Isiaka orí oyè. Títí dìgbà tá a wá wà yìí. Kì í ṣe pé àádọ́sọ̀ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ báyìí. Àwọn kan wà tó yẹ pé ibi náà ti kọ́ ibi náà tún wà. ọgọ́rùn-ún márùn-ún tètè ẹ̀ ní àjùbá ń lọ àpọ̀ lórí tẹ environmental tó sọ wàá rí i pé ńgbà tí wọn náà débi láàárọ̀ yìí ò lè wọlé a ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ environmental lágo 7 a parí ẹ̀ lágo 9 àti ààbọ̀ tó ra nígbàgbọ́ agbọ́tọ̀ tún agbá àbáyọ so à ń gbà yẹn lówó tí ò ga àwọn èèyàn lára tó jẹ́ pé kò tiẹ̀ ní wọn lára ńgbà tí a ti wà bá a ṣe fi wà yẹn kò sówó kan tá à ń gbà kọjá owó ìsọ̀tán bá rẹ́ǹtì tán sanwó ẹ̀ lọ́dún kò sí owó túláàsì kan tó ìnájà kan àbẹ̀wọ̀n rajà kan bí wàá lè sọ pé wọ́n ń gbà lọ́wọ́ àgbowó car park àgbowó ilé ìgbẹ́ ilé ìtọ̀ gbogbo ẹ̀dẹ̀ la ní tó yẹ pé tí ọ̀gán bá tiẹ̀ débẹ̀ wàá fẹ́ lè sùn bẹ̀ pé ṣébì náà dẹ̀ lẹ pé nílé ìgbẹ́ lẹ pé nílé ìwẹ̀ nílé ìtọ̀ tá a tọ́jú gbogbo ẹ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ bí nǹkan tí Lagos State fẹ́ gbogbo àrẹ̀ náà wá ń yẹ̀ wá wò Lagos State yẹn wọn yé wá wọn wá láti aláùsá wọn wá láti local government ẹgbẹ́ nípákó ní Lagos State gan àwọn gan tún wá tó dáa jẹ́ kókó kan nínú ọjà tó jẹ́ ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ Lagos State Building Materials and Building Materials Association ajẹ́ kókó kan so bá a ṣe ń tò díẹ̀ díẹ̀ nìyẹn tọ́lọ́ndẹ̀ fún wa tó challenge ta ní pọ̀ díẹ̀ ó kàn yẹ pé bórílẹ̀-èdè wa ṣe fi ń lọ ni tí gẹ́gẹ́ bí wọn náà ṣe rí ńgbà tẹ wọnú ọjà àwọn iṣẹ́ tó ń jáde níbí báyìí ọ̀pọ̀ ẹ̀ ní tán bá gbé dé ta tán bá sọ fún wọn pé wọ́n import ẹ̀ ni wọ́n ní jiyàn torí aláwọn òṣìṣẹ́ tí wọ́n kájú ẹ̀ anything furniture bó jẹ́ ìtàn fi irin ṣe bó jẹ́ ìtàn fi gi ṣe bó jẹ́ ìtàn fi bọ́ọ̀dù plywood ṣe ṣùgbọ́n ọ̀pọ̀ nǹkan tá à ń wí ló nídìí ọ̀pọ̀ owó materials tá a dẹ̀ ń lò jù local materials ní tó yẹ jẹ́ pé tán bá ṣe finishing ẹ̀ tán tiẹ̀ tún dájú tìlú tán gbé alátòkèrè lọ irú ẹ̀ tí wọ́n ti kó jáde láàárọ̀ yìí wọ́n náà pàdé nǹkan tán jáde lọ nígbà tí wọ́n ṣí géètì tá a pàdé environmental lẹ́ẹ̀kan so gbogbo orú àwọn kan báwọn yẹn ṣùgbọ́n kíjọba ó gbégbèsè àti kún wa lọ́wọ́ kí nǹkan yẹn lè di tí ó kárí gbogbo Áfíríkà tí ò ní mọ Nàìjíríà nìkan bọ́jà wa ṣe fi rí yìí láti Àbújá àwọn kan wà tó yẹ pé ní showroom wọn ibi náà ti wọ́n produce sales wọn ọjà tó ń tà ibi náà ti ń ṣe tán lọ kó sí showroom náà báyìí ti tan náà sí adúpẹ́ lọ́dọ̀ Ọlọ́run Ọlọ́run fi ń pọ́n wa ló dẹ̀ fi ń yìn wá so tíjọba bá kún wa lọ́wọ́ nípa pé kán finance wa béèyàn bá ṣe lówó ṣòwò mọ́ ni a ṣe jèrè mọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ náà dẹ̀ ni a ṣe rágbéga lẹ́nu òwò yẹn tó wò ní nìyẹn wàá rí i pé ẹni tó ń fi 1,000 ṣòwò èrè ẹ̀ ò lè dàbí ẹni tó ń fi 10,000 ṣe ẹni tó ń fi 1 million ṣòwò a lè fi ẹni tó ń fi 50 million ṣe béèyàn bá ṣe lówó ṣòwò mọ́ náà lè rí ẹ̀ ó ṣe pọ̀ tó náà dẹ̀ ni ayé á fi mọ̀ ọ́ sí.
Well, I've been in the business for a very long time because I started the business with my dad around 1985. I'm still in secondary school then. At earlier stage, I have the mind of be a first man, but my dad said he want me to go into business because he have a lot of achievement that he made in doing the business. And as time goes on, I later joined my dad in doing the business. I later have interest in doing the wood business. I give glory to Almighty God because the business is a good business, and if you can try to have interest in what you are doing, at least I know that you never regret in doing whatever you are doing. We have a lot of different type of woods that is even uncountable, most especially in Southwest here. We get wood from different states in Nigeria here. Starting from anything from Ijebu, the Shagam, Ore, Bini, Ondo, Idori, Owo, Ifon, Sobe, Agbanikaka Empire in Onwa, all that kind of, we get wood in many different states in Nigeria here. Just for example, we have mahogany. Mahogany is a redwood and they're used for furniture wood. Just like bed, shelf, door, architrave and so on. They're used for many things. We also have Black Afara. We have Mazonia. We have Tik. We have Abora. We have Idigbo. We have Eku. And so on and so forth. And that's what will last longer. But I still prefer, due to me, I still prefer the wood than using the board. If I'm doing anything in my house, I always prefer using the wood. The difference there is not very much, but difference between the local one, the local board and the wood that we use here, the wood lasts longer than the imported board, and most of this imported board, they process the wood here, which they even take down to that place to go and made as board, and they'll still bring it back for us here. That due to the government, because the government supposed to even work on that, which if at all, if something will even happen like that, what we have here, they're supposed to produce it here. Not that they will take it over there and then later do the processing and then later bring it for us here, which is not even an idea. I didn't even support that. We encounter a lot of challenges on that because bringing the imported boards down to Nigeria make the wood business to go down, which at least the way we even enjoy doing the business, the wood business before, is quite different from the way we enjoy it now. In Nigeria, yeah, some people know the quality of the wood, which they still patronize us. Most especially, some of my imported material, you will not be able to go far right where you're supposed to go. It depends on how the person have the sense and the knowledge of learning. Because some people may even be there between 1 year, they will capture whatever they want to capture about learning about the wood or to do a wood business. But some people, they have a dull brain. Maybe they will use about 3 to 4 years.
Wàá rí i pé mo sọ ọ́nà ọ̀rọ̀ mi pé à ń tà à ń rà ni. Àwọn ọlọ́dàn ni tí wọ́n wá rẹ́ǹtì ṣọ́ọ̀bù bí ọ̀pọ̀ wọn ni wọ́n na pàápàá àwọn kéékèèké ìsìn ìmí parí ní polytechnic àwọn tó parí lọ́fà tó parí dé nísìn iṣẹ́ tó bá wọ̀n pé ọmọ ọmọọṣẹ́ kan ẹ sì mọ̀ pọ́rọ̀ ṣẹ́rè ó kò èèyàn mọ̀ tán bọ́n bá kọ́ ṣiṣẹ́ mi tó bá dàbí pé ó fẹ́ pa wọn lórí asáré lọ bí wọ́n bọ́ ọ̀gá tó kọ́ wọn àwọn ọ̀gá tó pọ̀ mí sọ́mọ̀ pé ọ̀tọ̀ lọ̀gá ọ̀tọ̀ tún ni ọ̀gá so wọ́n pọ̀ mí báyìí bẹ́ẹ̀ ìgbà tí state government fún wa nílẹ̀ ń bí ọ̀pọ̀ nǹkan náà máa fún wa ṣùgbọ́n nígbà tán tiẹ̀ ti fún wa nílẹ̀ tá a ti ń rí bí tajà wa rajà wa àwa náà ò béèrè mọ́ òbọ̀ tó bá gbé wa lọ́la à ń retí ẹ̀ o tó dá déhùn wa ni kí wọ́n máa fún wa ní transformer tó máa fún wa níná ìgbà tán ò fún wa àwa la lọ rà fúnra wa wọ́n láwọn ò fún wa ní tar road àwa la mọ̀ bá ń ṣe ń ṣe ọ̀nà wa ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ tóbi dórí omi but bí náà ṣe ń wá ìgbà tí nàìjíríà ń rí bákan láti ìgbà kan tí náà ò déédé ọ̀pọ̀ wa láti ra jẹnẹrétọ̀ ọ̀pọ̀ àwọn oníṣẹ́ ọwọ́ yẹn torí ń gbé èèyàn bá gbaṣẹ́ níṣẹ́ tí nepa fún wa níná tó dẹ̀ lásìkò tó dá fún eníṣẹ́ ò ní fẹ́ gbọ́ pé iná ni ò sí ó mú kápọ̀ wa ra jẹnẹrétọ̀ gbogbo àwọn ọmọ táwọn wí gbogbo àwọn ọ̀gá wọn iná ní jẹnẹrétọ̀ tán fi ń ṣiṣẹ́ wọn.
The furniture market is not without its challenges. The unavailability of raw materials and the constant lack of power supply does not just affect the furniture industry, but the Nigerian manufacturing industry as a whole.
Challenges pọ̀ gan-an níbi iṣẹ́ yìí. Ìgbà míì wà tó yẹ pé iná máa disturb wa. Ní rí iná ṣiṣẹ́. Generator tá a dẹ̀ ń lò kò powerful bí iná. Ó ti yé yín. So àwọn challenges tá a máa ń face tá a máa ń dojú kọ lórí iṣẹ́ nìyẹn. So táwọn oníṣẹ́ bá dẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ fẹ́ gbéṣẹ́ kò dẹ̀ sí nǹkan tá a lè ṣe ju pé ká wá means láti fi parí iṣẹ́ yẹn. Iná generator náà la lè lò.
Nípa bá a ṣe ń sanwó gẹ́gẹ́ bí olórí àti ìgbìmọ̀ ẹni bá ti múná nínú wọn torí gbogbo wọn kọ́ ló ń lo ná ìbá àwọn tán ń lo ná nínú wọn àti ní levy tí a fi wọ́n sí orí ẹ̀ wọ́n dẹ̀ ti mọ̀ páwọn láti sanwó yẹn a tún wá ṣe débi pé ìjọba ní ká máa lọlé láago 6 tá a bá lọlé tán àwọn ìgbìmọ̀ kan wà tí a sẹ́ẹ̀tì kalẹ̀ á tó bí àwọn 8 àwọn èèyàn ò ní lọlé lágo mẹ́fà wọ́n á yí ká gbogbo ọjà a dẹ̀ ṣe àwọn ṣúìsì kan síta tó yẹ pé òun ló control gbogbo nǹkan téèyàn ń lò ní workshop ẹ̀ tó ní on and off so àwọn gbìmọ̀ tí wọ́n máa patrol yẹn gbogbo nǹkan tí fuse tán ṣe síta yẹn tó ti ní on and off yẹn náà máa wò tán bá ti rẹ́ni tó gbàgbé tiẹ̀ nígbà tó ń lọ lé ó wà ní on nígbà tó ń lọ bóyá ó pẹ́ kó tó palẹ̀ mọ́ wá ń sáré jáde lọ pé kí gbìmọ̀ ọjà má mú òun kò rántí pa àwọn gbìmọ̀ mẹ́fà mẹ́jọ yẹn àná máa lọ wọ́n máa pa àwọn èèyàn kúrò lọ́jà nìkan bíi 20 or 6:30 yóòjúmọ́ dẹ̀ nìyẹn àfijọ́ Sunday nìkan tá a bá wá yóòjúmọ́ là ń ṣe yẹn gbogbo wọn yẹn náà n tó ti ṣe wá rí ó jẹ́ ká gbẹ́ burú ọ̀rọ̀ kámọ́bàrógun iná mọ́ ni a dẹ̀ dúpẹ́ lọ́dọ̀ Ọlọ́run láti gbà náà tí pé bóyá èèyàn dẹ̀ ń jalè a lè pọ̀ tó yìí kámọ́ mọ́ rí ọmọ ẹ̀yìn 12 péré ni Jésù ní tí Júdásì ẹyọ kan ya nǹkan mọ́ lọ́wọ́ kámọ́ àsọ bá a ṣe pọ̀ tó yìí bá a bá tiẹ̀ wá gbúrò orú ẹ̀ àwọn olè pé kọ́mọṣẹ́ ó jí bọ́ọ̀dù ọ̀gá kó jí ṣó tàbí kó tọ́ bọ̀ àpò ọ̀gá àbí wọ́n fi fóònù síbì kan ó wo bí kò réèyàn kankan ó mú irú àwọn olè bẹ́ẹ̀ ni tán bá rẹ̀ ti lè mú lọ́sàn-án bẹ́ẹ̀ tán mú wá kò sí rẹ̀ lóru torí àwa ò sí lọ́jà mọ́ ọ̀dẹ́dẹ̀ ti wà but lọ́sàn-án tán bá ti mú wá bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn á pe àwọn ọmọ ìgbìmọ̀ òfin ti wà bí mo ṣe sọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan pé èèyàn gbọ́dọ̀ mutí lọ́jà wa ń bì èèyàn gbọ́dọ̀ jalè èèyàn dẹ̀ gbọ́dọ̀ jà so ẹni bá ti jalè òwe tá àṣà táwọn ń dá fún ni pé ó ti di irú ẹ̀ kalẹ̀ ó ti fòṣù kálé rí kẹgbẹ́ ó kàn gbèrú ká sì síta ni ẹni bá ti jalè ń lọ ni bẹ́ẹ̀ lẹ́ni ó bá mutí.
The sector needs to be empowered because it has a great potential to provide not just employment but contributor to internal revenue for the country.
Fever is a clinical condition where there's an elevation of the body temperature above normal. Many times, the regular body temperature is between 35.5 degrees Celsius to about 37.4 degrees Celsius. Anything above that can be classified as fever. In some cases, there's a difference between fever and hyperthermia. Especially when the person has been exposed to a hot environment, coming out from a hot sun or a natural raised body temperature. But aside that, once there's a raise in body temperature beyond 37.4, you can classify that as fever. And there are several causes of fever in children. One of them includes sepsis. Sepsis means the invasion of the body by microbes, by bacteria, or by microbes generally, which could be either bacteria, fungi, or even virus, right? That is sepsis. Okay, it could be parasitemia, especially more in our local environment where there's malaria. Okay, it could cause fever. Other conditions could be dehydration is one major cause of fever, just like a regular car. When there's an overheating, you know that the water is drying up. Same way it is even in a child, especially when they are dehydrated, they are prone to having fever. These are the major causes of fever. There are several other causes of fever that can happen, but key factors are one, sepsis, which is the invasion of microbes, and especially when there are open wounds. Maybe there's poor hygiene in situations where there's stooling and vomiting. There could be inhalation of microbes. An example, in cases of asthma, bronchopneumonia, there would always be fever. So most of these clinical conditions where there are infective causes will produce fever. Other causes, like I've just said, parasitemia, things like especially malaria will produce fever. And lastly, dehydration will produce fever. Well, practically, fever in itself is a symptom. So what are the symptoms to look out for in fever? Is the raised body temperature But more importantly, when there is a raised body temperature, it comes occasionally with some degree of weakness, some degree of unwellness. Many other times, the fever could come with thirst. There could be a need for a lot of thirst. That's when you also know that dehydration is one of the causes. One of the other things to look out for is any other surrounding symptom around that fever. And of course, any other surrounding symptom. For an example, open wounds, like I've said, and any form of infection. First, every mother should have a thermometer. You don't say that my child has fever because you touched the child. Oof, it's hot. Fever is not measured by your hand. It's measured by a certain device called a thermometer. And it's simple. There's a handheld thermometer and there is the thermometer, the auxiliary thermometer or the mercury thermometer. Now, this particularly tells you this fever. The moment you notice fever in your child, that's not when you're rushing to get all kinds of syrup. The first thing is to expose that child. Now, one thing I failed to mention is that fever sometimes could come with chills, depending on the age of the child, come with chills. In worsened situations for older children, it could come with rigor. So that person, the child is feeling cold and asking to turn off all the fan, and in other conditions is already shaking. Now, this shakiness is because the body is trying to produce heat, and so is vibrating, all right? Now, when you notice that because the child is feeling cold doesn't necessitate covering and turning on the fan. No, that's even when you expose. That's when you want to tepid sponge. Tepid sponging means dipping a towel into normal water and tabbing over the body. It's not bathing with cold water or ice blocked water, right? So you use normal water and tepid sponge, wrap around until that temperature comes down. If that temperature is not able to come down with that, you can advance to the use of simple drugs like paracetamol. The use of paracetamol has almost no contraindication, especially if you follow the prescription. So when you use it first time, you could do as much as 6 hourly, all right? But if you do for 1, 2, 3 times, and this fever is relapsing and going and coming back with the use of paracetamol, I think that's the right time to go to your doctor. Now, many times many mothers want to use ibuprofen. I don't recommend that you go as far as using ibuprofen. You could use it, but use it on your way to the hospital to see your doctor. So basically, fever is one of the most predominant conditions in children, and it can, if not properly managed, especially in children between the ages of 6 months to 6 years, it can result into something we call febrile convulsion, where the child begins to shake and of course that damages the brain. So in other words, you must prevent the escalation of fever by constantly controlling it. And if you do that for 24 to 48 hours and that child is not getting better, I advise you go see your doctor. My final word is that fever is not a symptom on its own. Many things cause it. You don't treat the fever, you treat the cause of fever. Fever many times comes with association, and you want to find out what are the other associations. And when you take a close history, you see that fever has progressed into something else, maybe cough, maybe stooling, maybe diarrhea. These symptoms help the clinician to find out what is wrong with the patient.
What will you concede that he hasn't done well, considering his 3-point agenda when he was coming into office?
There are some that he has succeeded to a large extent. There are some where he has succeeded very well. There are some that have question marks. Not for lack of trying,
Yes.
not for lack of effort, but because the challenges became multifarious and greater than was envisaged. No government solves all the problems in a country.
Join me every week on PlusTvAfrica and gain exclusive access to my conversations. I'm Angela Ajetumobi.
There is no voting on social media. To vote, you would require a permanent voter's card. To get your PVC, visit cvr.inecnigeria.org. Create your account with a valid email address and start the registration process. An activation link will be sent to you. Click on the link and activate your account. Fill out the form, pick and submit a convenient date and time for your biometrics. Print the application slip, which should have your QR code. On the appointed date, go to the nearest INEC office for your biometric capturing. Thereafter, you will get a registration slip to pick your permanent voter's card when ready. Get your PVC today. This message is from PlusTvAfrica.
Good morning, I am Madebanke Odunuri and this is a news update. The Federal High Court sitting in Umuahia on Friday nullified Section 84, subsection 12 of the newly amended Electoral Act. The court said it was a violation of the provisions of the Constitution. The court held that the section was unconstitutional, invalid, illegal, null, void, and of no effect whatsoever, saying it ought to have been struck out. Nduka Edede, a lawyer and chieftain of the Action Alliance AA party, had approached the court in a suit that had the Attorney General of the Federation as the defendant.
To determine whether Section 84, subsection 12, when read together with sections 66, 107, 137, 182 of the Constitution, is not inconsistent. Now, the court agreed with our submissions, and it has just ordered that Section 84, subsection 12 of the Electoral Act is inconsistent with the right of Nigerian citizens when read with Section 66 of the Constitution, 107, 137, 182, and now nullified Section 84, subsection 12 of the Electoral Act. And as equally has ordered the Attorney General of the Federation to delete Section 84, subsection 12 of the Electoral Act forthwith. Now, the implication of this is that it has provided a congenial atmosphere for politicking and political space.
The interpretation of Section 84.12, which the court has graciously put to rest now, as being a total nullity, being in conflict with the provisions of the Constitution. And originally, we honestly believed that it was inadvertence on the part of the National Assembly. It was a big error. And being gentlemen and distinguished senators and the members of the House, I think they will now go back and do the right thing, since the court has made pronouncement on it, and that put to rest every other issue with regards to that, so that we can move on with the national issues that are besieging us as a country and as a nation.
A high court in Abuja on Friday vacated an order stopping the national convention of the APC built for March 26th. Justice Bello Kawu gave the judgment, arguing that a political party cannot be sued by its member. The judge relied on a recent Supreme Court judgment, Aguma versus the APC, to conclude his ruling. The ruling followed a twist in the leadership of the ruling party as its plans for the convention. Five of the aspirants for the national chairmanship of the All Progressives Congress APC may have dropped out of the race, leaving the field for a tight contest by 7 top members of the party. Only the 7 met the deadline for submission of their nomination forms. Preparations for next weekend's convention, from which a new National Executive Committee of the party would emerge, moved into a higher gear yesterday after a high court in Abuja vacated an order stopping the national convention. The Committee on the Venue, Decorations and Site Servicing for the All Progressives Congress forthcoming convention has visited the proposed venue Eagle Square, Abuja, as part of preparations for the event. The chairman of the committee, Governor Simon Lalong of Plateau State, speaking after inspecting the venue in Abuja, said it would begin erecting structures for the convention. He said his committee had engaged with relevant stakeholders and organizations to ensure that the venue and associated services were put in place for delegates and officials during the convention. And stakeholders in Ogun State Senatorial District have agreed to work together to negotiate infrastructural development, education, and capacity for the economic prosperity of the zone. This is towards the forthcoming general election. APC in the district says the people of the area must be treated better in the next political dispensation. They promise to use the combination of lobby and clamor when the time is due. Speaking on behalf of the party, Faithful was a three-time gubernatorial candidate in the state, Boyega Nasir Isiaka. He maintains that the zone needs to be well informed about the level of socio-economic, political and structural marginalization affecting the growth of the zone.
Aside the infrastructure that we need, because what we lack most really in West is road. If you have road, there will be opportunity to market so many things. There is that land for people to do quite a lot of things, but because of road, the state of the road, this is why this is not good. So we will combine our zeal to attract the development of our infrastructure, to our knowledge and capacity to attract investment to develop the area. I think that is in the main. Of course, education is very important. That is one thing we cannot run away from. I thank God that in terms of that, the area is not lacking compared to other parts of the state. But we have to continue to push this. We have to continue to push that we have the right kind of education for our people, and that is it.
However, Isiaka urges eligible voters amongst the citizens to get captured in the ongoing INEC voter enrollment in order not to be disenfranchised.
Not just political parties, it's actually all of us, even non-politicians. I mean, at the end of the day, governance is an environment will get the best of leaders they deserve. And if you want to have your best of leaders, you have to encourage participation. So everybody actually should be involved in this. Even the CDAs, the communities, when we are having our meetings at every last Saturday of the month in our various communities, let us shout and tell our people. This is actually the responsibility of everybody. It's not just political parties, because at the end of the day, it's about our country and not just about the political parties.
And moving on to other parts of Africa, Zambia's fourth president, Rupia Banda, was laid to rest on Friday, one day after a state funeral. Banda died last week, aged 85, and was buried at the Embassy Park, the burial place for presidents in Lusaka. President Hakainde Hichilema led other mourners who included foreign dignitaries at the burial service, marking an end to the 7-day mourning period.
He was not afraid to show and express love. Our goodbyes, either on the phone or in person, were often punctuated by an "I love you." And indeed, this was more so the case in the later stages of his life. He let us know that there is no shame in showing love or tears.
President Banda, as I said yesterday, will remain in our history books as a distinguished leader in our country.
And outside Africa, hundreds of thousands of people in Japan's northeast have been left without power after a powerful earthquake with a magnitude of 7.3 struck, reviving memories of a devastating quake 11 years earlier. The Japan Meteorological Agency JMA said the tremor hit off the coast of Fukushima Prefecture, some 275 kilometers northeast of Tokyo, and at a depth of 60 kilometers. The quake was felt in Tokyo, where the shaking of buildings was long and pronounced, while hundreds of thousands of homes in the capital were plunged into darkness for an hour or more, although power has now been fully restored. And on to business news. African Development Bank, AFDB, said it is targeting the creation of 400,000 jobs through the establishment of special agro-industrial processing zones, SABs, across the country. AFDB Director General Nigeria Country Department Lamin Barrow noted that being government-enabled and private sector-led, Phase 1 of the SABS program will mobilize significant investments in the agro-industrial hubs and agricultural transformation centers. He said the bank is supporting Nigeria to implement bold policy measures to drive the transformation of agriculture and foster economic diversification through the development of SABs. And in entertainment news, a reality TV show, The Real Housewives of Lagos, is set to start airing exclusively on video streaming platform Showmax on the 8th of April, with new episodes every Friday. The show follows the opulent lives of 6 ladies believed to be the most glamorous women in Lagos, Nigeria. Caroline Hutchins is into real estate, oil and gas, and agriculture. Laura Ikeji, a social media influencer, author, and entrepreneur. Chioma Ikoku, a lawyer who is also a co-founder and CEO of a luxury hair brand, and Toye Lawani Adebayo, a renowned celebrity stylist. And as a news update, for more stories, please follow us at PlusTvAfrica on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and do subscribe to our YouTube channel at PlusTvAfrica and PlusTvAfrica Lifestyle. I am Adibanke Odunuyin. Thank you for watching.
There is no voting on social media. To vote, you would require permanent voter's card. To get your PVC, visit cvr.inecnigeria.org. Create your account with a valid email address and start the registration process. An activation link will be sent to you. Click on the link and activate your account. Fill out the form, pick and submit a convenient date and time for your biometrics. Print the application slip, which should have your QR code. On the appointed date, go to the nearest INEC office for your biometric capturing. Thereafter, you will get a registration slip to pick your permanent voter's card when ready. Get your PVC today. This message is from PlusTvAfrica.
What if I tell you, say, me where you see, I don't so see, we're just a germinate. So be hopeful, cause waiting I no be say, the baba where we they serve, no they use us play. Ego enter, that thing where you define, ego enter. It might take a little time, but ego enter. When the stars align, we go enter, and everything will be just fine. Cause when Oluwa say yeah, 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 nobody can say no. Baba, hello. Cause when Oluwa say yeah, 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 nobody can say no. Baba, hello. Cause you get the final say. No matter what them say, no matter what them do, yes, you get the final say. No matter what them say, no matter what them do, delay is let's not deny you. Keep waiting patiently. You can triumph through your trials if you just believe. So don't give up the fight, cause Papa God know they sleep. One day you will surely celebrate. He will supply your need. Have a little faith and see that He go enter, He go enter. That thing where you define, He go enter, He go enter. It might take a little time, He go enter. When the stars align, He go enter. And everything will be just fine. Cause when Oluwa say yeah, 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 nobody can say no, 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 Papa, hello, oh. Cause when Oluwa say yeah, 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 nobody can say no, 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 Papa, hello. Cause you get the final say. No matter what them say, no matter what them do, yes, you get the final say. No matter what them say, no matter what them do, ooh, you get the final say, you get the final say. Ooh, no matter what them say, no matter what them say. Ooh, you get the final say, you get the final say. No matter what them say, no matter. Cause you get the final say. No matter what them say, no matter what them do, yes, you get the final say. No matter what them say, no matter what them do.
Everything you put your hand go walk. Your name go open doors. You self go be a boss. Amen. Amen. Everything you put your hand go walk. Your name go open doors. You self go be a boss. Amen. Amen. Every hustler getting paid. Where the hustle go come the pay. Your own in no go take. Amen. If you don't find work, do your own. God self go do his own. And flesh go cover bone. Amen. Amen. If you believe it, say amen. If you believe it, say amen. If you believe it, say amen. 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 Everything you put your hand go on. Your name go open doors. You self go be a boss. Amen. Amen. Everything you put your hand go on. Your name go open doors. You self go be a boss. Amen. Amen. Sister where one man sees until where they find begin. One day you go born twins. Amen. Amen. They're not where don't losing job. Landlord come they do like God. One day you go be landlord. Amen. Amen. Good news go locate you. Watch and see it no go take. If you believe it, say amen. No. Amen. Amen. Everything you put your hand go up. Your name go open doors. You self go be a boss. Amen. Amen. Everything you put your hand go walk. Your name go open doors. You self go be a boss. Amen. Amen. Life go follow you. Strangers go favor you. Great men go honor you. Amen. sign the check, oh. You self go drive that Benz, oh. This life go still make sense, oh. Amen. Your children go make you proud, oh. Bad people no go pull you down, no. One day you go run this town, no. Amen. Amen. You self go spray me money. Baby go call you honey. You self go host the party. Amen. Amen. Dangote go be your friend. Otedola go be your friend. Adenuga go be your guy. Amen. Amen. Elubelu go be your guy. Abdusamad go be my guy. Rabbi, you go be my guy. Amen. Amen. Your life no go end in shame. Your business go bring you gain. If you believe it, say amen. 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 Amen.
Omulero, Omori Made, Africa, Omori Made.
Free your mind, free your mind, free your mind, free your mind, free your mind and set your soul free. Free your mind, free your mind, free your mind, free your mind, free your mind and set your soul free. Free your mind, free your mind, free your mind, free your mind, free your mind and set your soul free. Free your mind, free your mind, free your mind, free your mind, free your mind and set your soul free. Free your mind, free your mind, free your mind, free your mind, free your mind and set your soul free. Free your mind, free your mind, free your mind, free your mind, free your mind and set your soul free.
Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Yeah. 7 years after school, but I've been still the way to why. Them say no work for town, but people keep getting jobs. Preacher says don't worry, son, your miracle is on the way. Oh. Same words he'd heard before, about 7 years ago. Oh. It might have fit to take long, but joy will come. I know you can, so Lord, please make a way. I will wait for my miracle. I will wait for my miracle. No matter what it takes, I will wait for my miracle. I know you can, I know you make a way. Da 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 da. 10 years after wedding, Sister Ruth still away to why. Can't seem to have a job, and she can't tell the reason why. Preacher says, don't worry, girl, your miracle is on the way. Oh, same word she heard before, about 10 years ago. The matter fit to take long, but joy will come. I know you can, so God, please make a way. I will wait for my miracle. I will wait for my miracle. No matter what it takes, I will wait for my miracle. I know you can, I know you make a way. No matter if it take so long. It breaks my heart that I even have to wait so long. But Lord, I will trust in you. Hold on to your every word. I will wait for you. Lord, I will wait. I will wait for my miracle. I will wait for my miracle. No matter what it takes, I will wait for my miracle. I know you can, I know you make a way. Da 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 da. I will wait for you, Lord, I will wait. blessing to be alive. Don't miss it.
First of all, we produce Prelamante, Abido Shika, Cha-cha-cha. Introducing Benjamin James and Kingsley Okori, the Cavemen, performing live for the first time, the smart single, Celeste.
Give me love, oh. Make we jolly. Give me love, oh, baby. Make we jolly. Kulu, kulu, baby. Baby, make we jolly. Kulu, kulu, baby. Baby, make we jolly. Give me love, oh. Make we jolly. Give me love, oh, baby. Make we jolly. Kulu, kulu, baby. Baby, make we jolly. Kulu, kulu, baby. Baby, make we jolly. Why, why, why? You make me go out. 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 Why they do like you know they love? When you know say na me they love. Why they do like you know they love? When you know say na me they love. Kulu baby, my sweetie sweetie, odo yewu, my sweetie sweetie. You make me go out. You make me go out.
Organization estimates that as many as 300 million people are currently living with depression and anxiety, while countless more face undiagnosed lack of happiness. With mounting pressure to succeed, in a fast-paced, globalized society, many are not taking their well-being seriously.
Non-profit group, the Action for Happiness, which is made up of people from 170
to
popular international
happiness against the backdrop of dealing with anxiety.
Yeah.
This is Today with John and Helen, and I am John Senaya. It's a happy show for the entire family, so welcome.
Welcome.
It's Today with John and Helen, and today we mark International Day of Happiness. Helen has said I should keep a smile on my face. It's International Day of Happiness, and it's celebrated every 20th day of March across the globe.
And our challenge is to find the synergy between dealing with anxiety and happiness. And to help us are three amazing Amazons. First, Bukola Lamid, a mental health practitioner who will help us navigate through factors which affect happiness. Then we will have Sylvia Mora Mochabo, who is a humanitarian, among other things. It's a happy show.
Yes.
And our first guest is on Zoom.
Yes.
Hello.
Hi, good morning.
Morning. You know, we have...
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
Welcome to the show.
Just confirming that we can hear you. But before we come over to you, Helen, we're talking about happiness.
Yes.
On today's program. So, anything to make you happy?
Everything is making me happy.
Like?
Because happiness is not expected from the external for me.
Okay, it's from inside.
Oh, yes.
So when you go out and there's no fuel...
Oh, no. I just smile through it.
You smile through it?
Because it's a fact of life.
And there's no power supply.
There's no power for supply. Diesel is going up so high. All foodstuff going up in prices. Insecurity is still there.
Yeah, but we are happy all the same.
Some of our leaders are doing some imprintable things, you know, fighting in the public here and there.
Yeah.
But all through this,
just be happy.
Just be happy.
Be happy.
Just be happy.
Okay.
You know, just be happy.
So
tomorrow will be better.
That's the message for us today. You know,
because
don't
we have
worry.
the gift of life.
Don't worry. Be happy. Okay. Yeah. Great.
And I'm excited. I'd like to hear the perspective of our first guest on what really is happiness and what makes her happy. All right. Okay. So welcome to the show once again. As we're looking at happiness as the theme for this year's International Day of Happiness, which is back happier, and our main focus is on dealing with anxiety. All right? And certainly the obstacle to happiness. First to join the conversation is Bukola Lamid, a mental health practitioner who will share her thoughts with us on this issue.
Yeah.
All right, and Bukola is already there. Once again, welcome to the show, Bukola.
Thank you very much for having me. So,
thank you.
Once again, happy International Day of Happiness.
Great.
That's what you call it, right?
Yes.
All right. So, a lot of people talk about happiness and they don't really understand what happiness is. And I would like to talk from a psychological view, because we need to look at it from the mental health view. I tell people every time that there's no health without mental health. If we don't look at a lot of things from a psychological view, we may not get the holistic view of what that particular thing is. So we are talking about happiness today.
Yes.
So a lot of people don't understand that our brain has what we call a negativity bias.
Okay.
So I'm going to come from there,
Okay.
because you see a lot of people say, oh, happiness comes from within and all that. Like what Helen rightly said now that it is not what is happening in the external environment that actually affects it's something that comes from within. But there's something within that is contesting the happiness that a lot of people don't understand.
Okay.
And it's called the negativity bias. So this negativity bias is in our brain and it evolved, to react much strongly to negative experiences than positive experiences. So we have been wired to naturally respond to negative experiences more than positive experiences. I give an example. If you have a lot of money, for instance, the mind will keep you having the thought of, oh, I have a lot of money. What the mind will focus on is, I need to have more money. Them to be able to survive the environment. So they are running away from you. It's also focus on the
And try and build up, sometimes maybe spiritual and
is about something, something that has not really even happened, but because you already have a bias around Nigeria that a lot of people are developing, and that is about